welcome to another week of Eagles talk of what happened last week, what's going to happen this week, and let's looking forward to the future. So, as we know, the Eagles beat the New York Football Giants, and I'll say it again, the defending Super Bowl champion New York Football Giants, whatever. We beat them. This week in my video, I'm going to do things a little bit different. We're going to go from the greatest things to the things that weren't so great. So, let's just start this way. The greatest thing about the game last week, Brian Dawkins. Is there anybody that gets you as hyped up as seeing Brian Dawkins come out of the gates, doing his Wolverine thing, doing his little dance, getting the whole team fired up? I don't know about you, but just even seeing that on TV just makes me want to just go outside and hit somebody. But I live near a bunch of old people, so that probably wouldn't be good for me or their hips or just, I don't know. That's awesome. Brian Dawkins definitely deserves to be retired as an Eagle. Definitely deserves to go in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's a lot of great things about him as a person, about the way that he played the game, and about how he did not try to promote himself even through retiring. He told the team, hey look, don't win this game for me, win it for yourselves. They were going to retire my name, my jersey number, regardless if we win or lose. So you go out there and you win it for you, win it for the city that deserves a win against the Giants and deserves a Super Bowl trophy. So Brian Dawkins, you get my top honor for the game last week, even though you didn't play. Your energy was in the stadium, made everything go nuts. So that's awesome. Stuff that's pretty good. Eagles did this stuff pretty good. You ran the football. You finally ran the stinking football. It wasn't so successful in the first half. You know what? You stuck with it in the second half. You ran the football. And you know what that means? It means the ball wasn't in Mike Vick's hands. He didn't have to pass it 56 times, so we didn't have interceptions. And Mike Vick stayed on his feet most of the time. He didn't get hit like 3 million times like he's been getting hit the last couple of weeks, which means he's going to be healthier. Now, yes, I did go on record saying I think Nick Foles is going to be the starting quarterback when we win the Super Bowl, but you know what? He still extended Vick's time, and I'm not against Vick. If he can play smart football and win games, hey, I don't care who. Elmo can be the stinking quarterback of the Eagles. If we win the Super Bowl, I'm okay with that. So, good stuff there. Thank you, Andy Reid, for sticking with the run. That's awesome. I like that. So that gets my good. The as expected, we'll pull through. I don't know. Thanks for the refs coming back. How about that? We, for the most part, now the refs you're going to get in my not so good later, but we had some solid officiating for most of the game. Okay? We didn't have those 10-minute waits that we had to deal with when playing against these other teams where there was offsides and you couldn't figure out where in the world to spot the ball. That's ridiculous. But we had some good officiating, like I said, for most of the game, and so that was good. And you know what? Our defense did pretty good as well. They weren't outstanding, but they weren't bad. Okay? So that was good. And finally, we have our special teams that did. Oh, wait a minute. They might not have done good either. Special teams, though, you got burned a little bit some parts. Some parts did well at the end of the game, closed it out. So, yeah, that's in the middle ground. Things not so good. Not so good. I'm going to say the refs in the end of that game, you had 3 pass interference calls. The one, of course, I'm going to say, against the Eagles, I mean, that's ridiculous. The league's getting a little bit out of control with all the defensive penalties that they have. The team's got to be able to play defense. If you can't play defense, if you can't touch receivers, if you can't do any of this stuff, yeah, you're going to get more passing yards, you're going to get all this scoring stuff, but it's going to make it kind of worthless. It kind of makes it kind of phony, fake. Kind of like last year, you had 3 quarterbacks over 5,000 yards, and yeah, Drew Brees is a good quarterback. He's an elite quarterback, but Stafford, I mean, Dan Marino was a great quarterback, and he did it once in many years. And now you have all these people with 5,000 yards. You need to tone back all these pass interference calls. Plus, it almost cost us the game. Now, if we didn't get that other pass interference where the guy was hanging on Asamoah's face, then it looks like that field goal was going to go in. Which brings us to the worst part about last week. Worst part. I felt like we had Chris Webber back, from Michigan. Timeout! Andy Reid. And I'm an Andy Reid fan, okay? I'm going to go ahead and say that. I think he still should be the coach of the Eagles. If you look at his record, most winningest coach in Philadelphia history. I mean, everybody loves Dick Vermeil because of his energy, his passion and stuff. But the guy had never won as much as Andy Reid. So Andy Reid's won a lot. But man, does he kill you or what? In these last 2 minutes of every game, no matter win and lose or whatever's going on, he just finds a way to do something where you're like, what the heck are you doing? So a team is fighting against the clock because of their own mistakes, running out on the field, trying to get a field goal, just completely disorganized, and they miss the field goal off the left, but you find out that your coach is sitting over there and called the timeout. Why would you do that? I get the whole ice in the kicker, like Super Bowl deal from Buffalo and the Giants, and you know, if you're really close, you want that guy to think even more about the field goal, so you know, all that pressure. But if you're dealing with a 54-yard field goal and the kicker really doesn't kick those, and he's already rushing on the field and they barely get it off, why in the world do you want to give that guy more time to think about his kick? You want to give him the least amount of time and then shank it like he did. Instead, you call a timeout, now there's more time to think about it, set up, and then I know what I was doing when I saw that going right down the middle. I was saying some choice things in my head about Andy Reid and his decision to make a timeout when I saw it going right down the middle. I'm like, this sucks. But then it was short, and we won the game. So, thank goodness. But that could have been disastrous, and we could be 2-2 instead of 3-1. So, this week, Eagles are 3-1, on top of the division again, by themselves again. We play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is a quick summary, I guess. Pittsburgh's getting a lot of help. They'll get healthy. I mean, you got Palomalo back, you got Harrison back, you got Mendenhall back. Those are three big names for Pittsburgh. I mean, you already got Roethlisberger. They won 2 Super Bowls, I get it. Last week, the Giants, they won 2 Super Bowls, I get it. So you got these superstars coming back from whatever injury they had. They were coming off of a bye week. We're coming off an emotional week against the Giants. Kind of a recipe for disaster. I mean, you're going to Pittsburgh, not the easiest place to play. I mean, why don't you just go play the game in like Afghanistan, you know? So Pittsburgh's a tough place to play. But the Eagles need to keep their formula. I mean, McCoy ran for, 120-something yards last week? Don't abandon the run. The temperature's supposed to be crappy in Pittsburgh. I mean, look, it's the other side of Pennsylvania. Of course it's supposed to be crappy. No, but it's supposed to be like 40-something degrees, potentially raining, all that stuff like that. Don't try to air it out. Don't. I would not do that. I would just say, hey, look, we're going to be tougher than you. We're a little undersized compared to them, but you know what? It seems like running the ball kind of worked. Control the clock, make sure things don't go nuts. Keep doing that. And then, you know what? Hit Roethlisberger. Hit him. Hit the guy. That's really what they got to do. Their offensive line might be worse than ours. Hit him. Strip the ball from him. Get some turnovers. You know, play consistent D like you've been playing. Really, it's the offense that's got to take care of stuff, and if we do that, we're going to win. If we don't, we're not going to win. I mean, it's that simple. But I like my chances. I think Philly's got something going. I think Vic is getting all that dust off, you know, from not being preseason. He might start playing a lot smarter, and I hope that happens. So this week, let's just beat Pittsburgh. I don't understand why all the hate is from you Pittsburgh fans out there, because this is a team that we had to combine forces before, in like 1940s during World War II, to become one team, so we're like brothers. So this is the only time we should ever really be rooting against each other, and it should be nasty. So if you're out there as an Eagles fan, you're rooting next to your brother. We're all in one state. This is all Pennsylvania. And I'm going to go on record and say, if Philly doesn't win something, I hope Pittsburgh does. So like when those Pittsburgh Super Bowls, I root for my state. So let's not have too much hate. Let's have a lot of fun out there, but let's not be stupid. Okay, so Eagles, Steelers, we're brothers, but just not tomorrow. All right, so let's look for the Eagles to win. I hope we make some smart decisions. I hope it doesn't go down to the last 2 minutes, but if so, we've actually been doing pretty well. Win by 1 point, 1 point, and 2 points. Let's make it work. All right, and then let's, I don't know, bring back some ketchup because I like ketchup on my cheesesteaks. And I'll eat that for my meeting next week, my video, if we win. If we don't, whatever, I'm still going to eat a cheesesteak. That's it for this week. Let's go, Birds. Beat the Steelers.